All right, YouTube, it's Joe the 50 something dasher with another video here. Still not dashing. Today is Wednesday the 10th. Worked the W-2 again. Put in an 8-hour day today. I'm like really tired, beat, worn out. And the plan is I'm probably not going to dash tomorrow. Tomorrow, and unless they call me in at the W-2, tomorrow is just going to be a day off. Um, we really need to do some rearranging around the apartment here. Um, but I came up with the idea for a video to post. And I came up with this idea while I was shooting one of the past videos. I can't remember which video it was, but I mentioned this in that video. I thought what I would do is go ahead and post excerpts from my journal video from it's coming up on almost a year ago. So this is going to be the February 15th journal video where I talk about what is to date my worst, by far my worst dash ever, in the over 1 year that I've been DoorDash driving now. So uh, so I'm gonna edit that video, into this. Maybe I might come back on with. I've just watched a little bit of it myself just now, so I'm gonna edit parts of that video in. Now, keep in mind this is from my own private journal. Okay, so it was never meant to be shown to the whole entire world like I'm about to do. This is pretty crazy. I never, hardly anybody has seen very much at all of any of my journal videos, obviously. Um, so this is pretty crazy that I'm doing this. But uh, it's better to get all the facts of what happened straight from the horse's mouth, straight from, I've always said since I've been doing these journal videos, you want to hear me tell a story about something that happened in my life. It's better to go back to a video of taken from the day that everything happened versus me trying to like recap everything now. So let's get it straight from the 50 something dasher from February 15th of last year here. And so I apologize about the cursing that you're about to hear. I'll try to edit some of this and clean it up a little bit. There's some pauses, and so there's going to be some cuts and editing in this, and I'll try to get the best parts here in the video and try not to make the video too long. Um, but and also just keep in mind, so the lighting, the sound, it's going to be different than the setup that I have now. Obviously, it wasn't never meant to be posted on YouTube, of course. But anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna you know edit in the clip right now. Enjoy this clip of me from, and another reminder here that this is, pop drinking, bad eating Joe from a year ago. And also, this is taken before I became a top dasher. So it was kind of interesting me watching the start of this just a minute ago where I was talking about the scheduling. I'm like, why do I have to? So, oh, that's right, I wasn't a top dasher yet at that time. So, so anyway, so that's why, like, all of the, talk about the scheduling at the beginning of this. But anyway, I'll shut up. I'll post it. And so here is the video from February 15, 2023, my private journal video talking about my worst dash to date. Here it is. All right, this is the update for Wednesday, February 15th, 2023, and hopefully this is today was the worst dash day ever. I don't know if it can get worse than today unless somebody like hit my car. I mean that's probably the only way it could get worse. Unless I got shot at, robbed, or my car got fucking hit and fucking totaled. I don't know how it could get worse than today. But I feel really blessed right now that the day is gonna like end well. So everything's gonna get resolved today, and praise the Lord. Fortunately, everything all back to normal tomorrow. Fingers crossed. That reminds me. Is the schedule released for Tuesday yet? Nope. I gotta check. I gotta keep checking that here every couple of hours. Okay, so it's gonna be frustrating to get through this update, man. Reliving all this. Starting with this morning, okay, I talked about this. I wasn't scheduled till 11. The same with Friday. Day after tomorrow. I did not get on quick enough. Other dashers beat me to the time slots, and all I could get was 11 to 4 instead of my normal 8 to 4. So I knew I didn't want to dash until 8 o'clock. I've talked about the 7 to 8, the fucking school bullshit in the morning and all, school buses and all this shit. So I told myself I wasn't going to get on the app until about 7:45. And then start watching to see what I could do. Well, I get on there, and Grove City and Southwest Columbus neither had openings, and the scheduling feature for Grove City wasn't until a time after my 11 to 4 is 5 p.m. or something. There was nothing in the morning to schedule. But I did notice that Tuttle had an opening. And I've thought about Tuttle before, and just, that's crossed my mind. I've already done Southwest Columbus. Maybe at some point I might do Hilliard in that area. And then Tuttle was the other area that I was kind of interested to check out. So I thought, well, let me try it. So I get on there and select, dash along the way. And it was going to give me until 9:30. And I thought, well, that's good for, that'll be worth my while, because I'll get there just after 8 o'clock, and then I'll have an hour and a half, and maybe I can do, 6 or 7 orders in that time and kind of get a little, at least a little taste of Tuttle. Okay, so that's what I do. Dash along the way, and I'm heading up there. Now, pretty much all I know about the Tuttle area is the fucking mall. And I think there's a McDonald's right across the street from the mall. That's all I know about that whole fucking area. I don't know anything at all about fucking the Tuttle area. So everything's gonna have to be straight GPS. Okay. I don't know where I don't know any of the restaurants. I don't know nothing. All I know to do is park at the mall, because that's all I know. So I park at the mall. I'm sitting there 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Wasn't getting anything. Finally got an order for this. What the fuck was it called? I wrote a review for it. Something bagels. There it is, Berry Bagels. Okay. And after I got there and parked, I seen that was a hot spot. Okay, so 5 minutes later, I get an order from there. Okay, let's fucking go to Berry Bagels. or Barry's Bagels, whatever the fuck it is. So I go there. I get there. It's in like this little shopping center, and I walk inside the store. There's like probably two customers waiting. I'm guessing two customers waiting to place an order. Two other customers at the other end of the counter, presumably to pick up an order. I'm not 100%. I've never been to this place before. I'm not exactly sure where I'm supposed to be, but I definitely don't need to place an order, I don't think. So I gotta make my way in between the five people or the four people. I'm standing in between them. There's only one worker that I see, and he finishes up one order, and then he kind of looks like in my direction, and he's like, and the guy's foreign. I don't know what fucking country he was from, and he looked like he was either on drugs or half asleep. And he's like, who's next? And I was like, I'm here to pick up a DoorDash order. And then the dude just completely fucking ignores me and keeps walking, and now looks at the guy to my left. Who's next? He says it again, and the guy to the left of me, oh yeah, I was next in line to place an order. And all of a sudden, I was like, fuck this. Fuck that. I'm out of here. I'm going to, cancel this order. I'm out of here. It's too bad, like, somebody that spoke English couldn't have been taking those orders. And, all the guy would have had to do is say, oh, if you're here for a DoorDash order, stand over there and the orders come out. And, like, if he would have told me the process, that's what I was kind of expecting. But he just fucking, dismisses me. And I'm like, no, fuck that. Now, I will say that I maybe fucked up just a little bit, because I've gotten in a habit here that some of these different restaurants, just like there's instructions for the customers, there's instructions for the restaurants too. And you do so many of these deliveries, and you get in the habit. You park your car, you walk inside the store, you tell them what order you're there for. For the most part, it's the same. There's little differences, like McDonald's goes by pickup numbers instead of the customer's name. Most everybody else goes by the customer's name. And a few places make you, like, on your phone, check that you've received the order, and they want to watch you do that. Because some dashers will steal food. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same anywhere you go. And maybe this place had some difference. For all I know, maybe I was supposed to place the order. That's a possibility. I have no idea, because I decided yesterday for the first time. Let me plug my phone in. It'll need to be charged for my appointment. Okay. Yesterday, and this is maybe a side topic I could add in later, I decided to take pictures of the when you decline an offer, what are the different reasons? And I always forget what all of the different reasons are. The two that I use, the only two that I use, are distance is too far and the order is too small. None of these other ones I've ever used. Store is not in my starting point. Oh, I guess, somebody that, if you're like the Panera orders that I'm about to get to, that's what that means. If you took an order and you went out of zone, some people may not want to pick up from. It'll give you like I got today. I was out of zone, trying to come back, but it gave me a Panera order. And if you don't want to pick up in a store that's outside your zone, that's what you would select. Um, then the next one is I don't want to place order. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I was sitting there trying to, and I bet, I haven't run into this yet. I haven't had to do this, but I bet there's some restaurants where you have to play, you walk in there and you place the order. Now, for all I know, this berry bagels, maybe I was supposed to do that. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know, maybe. But that I didn't look at the instructions. And I need to start doing that with places that I've never been to before. Then later I had a Fazoli's order that I'll get to here in a minute. And so I hadn't picked up a Fazoli's order before, so looked at the notes before I went into the store. Uh, the next one is I don't want to go to this store. Now the next I got one a couple days ago and I didn't select this reason, but next time I get a Cracker Barrel Grove City order, I'm going to select that reason and I want to see if it stops from then on, if it stops sending me those orders. I don't have my red card. I have too many orders. If you have too many orders, just fucking log off. Or because the most I've ever had at one time is two. I didn't know you could have more than that, but I have phone or app problems. Okay, next would be um, my dash ends soon. This next one's funny. I need a bathroom break. I have an emergency. Store is closed. I selected that one time to try to get out of an order. The store wasn't closed. There was other shit going on, but I selected that anyway. It makes you, if you select that reason, it makes you take a picture of the closed store. Order not ready or something else. Order not ready. How can anybody use that? You don't know until you get there. So when the offer comes across, you don't know what the order's ready or not. um. So anyway, I canceled that. I went back out to the car. I just sat there in that parking lot another probably like 10 minutes, and and then now by this time it was about like 8:30, and I thought about just kind of hanging out there until 9, and but then I was like, you know what, I fuck this. I'm logging off. This was a bad idea. I don't know this area. Um, it's just a bad idea, and I don't need to be doing this. I From now on I can stay in Grove City. I've gotten consistent work here, and I can just stay here. And even like when I haven't been able to schedule like my whole 8 to 4, like today, perfect example. If I just get on at 8 o'clock and keep watching my phone, but chances are an opening will pop up. Um, and which I guess leads me into the next thing in my notes. Speaking of, I decided to log off that Tuttle. Just fuck it, this was a fucking miserable attempt at dashing in this zone. This failed miserably. I was gonna log off and fucking go home. So I'm driving back home. I get to Grove City exit, and I decide to emotionally eat and run through McDonald's drive-through. I figure I go through the drive-through, get something to eat, come back here. I was going to shoot this video. And so I'm in the drive-through line, but I still have my Dasher app open. And I then all of a sudden Dash Now shows for Grove City. I'm like I'm about to pull up to the speaker to order. I talk about the timing here, and I was okay, and I quickly jumped on and selected it, and the ending time was all the way till 11. So now I get so I wasn't able to schedule it in advance, but lo and behold, I pretty much got my schedule instead of like an 8 to 4 that I normally uh, get. I was able to jump on there, and now I'm doing like 8:50 to 4. So as soon as I scheduled that, then I pulled out a line and I parked in a parking spot. And now all of a sudden I'm dashing in Grove City and almost immediately get like a Frisch's order. So so it's like within like just a split change, just like that, I go from I'm about to order some food and come back home to boom, now all of a sudden I'm dashing in Grove City. You get like a Frisch's order. I go do that, and then I did I got in my notes. I did about 6 regular, normal orders that I do every day. And I got this last order of those went to this distribution center near kind of near the area of the Urban Crest Industrial Drive and Justice intersection where all those fucking warehouses are in Urban Crest. That's like the one of the ways in the past that I've driven to go to work. And so I deliver at this place. I'm in the process of leaving this distribution center, and I don't know like what the fuck was going on, but I get like 4 or 5 consecutive orders going into fucking downtown. I get an order, come across, for whatever restaurant. I looked at the map, it's going downtown, decline, distance is too far. Like 5 seconds later, another order going into downtown, decline, distance is too far. Then like a third order, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I declined like 4 orders back to back to back to back, and not know why. And then all of a sudden, I get this Fazoli's order, and by the way, that first order, I think it was the Frisch's. Is that came across as like a $6 order or something, and the distance on it was kind of far. It was like 5 miles, and but it was like $6 for like 5 miles or something. Okay, whatever. Well, I go to deliver that, and the customer like doubled the tip when I was on route. He changed his tip to fucking $12. That ended up being a $14 trip. Fucks, that'll work. Fuck yeah. So I was off to a good start. And like I said, 5 more orders. Then like I said, the consecutive downtown run. What the fuck is going on here? Then I get this $10 Fazoli's order that's going in the vicinity of downtown. And I'm getting frustrated at this point. I don't want to decline like 12 orders in a row. And I was like, damn it, the fuck. Okay, I guess I'm fucking taking the fucking downtown order. Jesus fuck here. I accept it. It was $10 for 9 miles. It wasn't a horrible, it wasn't a horrible trip. But, but I took it. Pick up from Fazoli's. First ever Fazoli's order. I go in there. the customer messages me while I'm walking into the store. Hey, could you just kind of like double check that they put the extra sauces and shit that I asked for? So I go up there, and this kind of irritated me. Fazoli's had a, a fast pickup rack or whatever, just like Chipotle and a lot of the places do. Um, Frisch's has this. Fucking Chick-fil-A. You just walk up to the to-go shelves, and if you see your order boot, grab and go. That's what I should call it. The grab and go rack. And that's what it looked like in Fazoli's. But I go up to the rack, I see the guy's order, fucking bum rushes me from the fucking side and trying to make sure that, you know, I'm picking up the right order or whatever, trying to verify things. And she was wanting me to confirm, like, you know, pick up the order in my app so she could see it. And I'm thinking to myself, if you gotta do that shit, why do you have a grab and go fucking rack? If you've got to watch the drivers confirm the order, it's, man, that fucking irritated me. And I was like, well, the customer sent me a message. They want to make sure the sauces, the extra sauces are in here, right, and everything, the napkins and extra silverware. Yeah, it's all here because there's this and this and this and then that and that. It's all in there. Oh man, I gotta watch my temper, man. I gotta really watch it. So I pick up the food. I fucking go downtown, fucking 71 to fucking Broad Street, fucking exit downtown fucking Columbus, Ohio, where I have no business being. Deliver the fucking Fazoli's, okay? So now I'm heading back, trying to head back home, and I get a Panera offer. 5 total miles, like 8 items or whatever, $6. Whatever the fuck. I'm like, okay, whatever. I go to take it, and it's this Panera that's in this big, huge fucking building, a corner building, real fancy looking. There's like an attached garage attached to this thing. And there's no like parking lot that I could see, just the garage. I park like a one street over. I don't even know if I was supposed to be parking in this lot, but I did. And I approached Panera. Come to find out, I had 2 orders. I thought I just had one, but I was picking up for 2 people. Well, okay, that's fine. I walk in there, they're grab and go. It was like these 2 long shelves. There must have been like at least 12 orders sitting up there. I've seen like in Chipotle, I've seen like 7 or 8, you know, bags sitting there. Not this many. This is fucking busy ass fucking Panera. My 2 orders were ready, fortunately, so boom, grab those. No problems really delivering to the first customer. So now I'm heading towards the second customer. I'm on a street. It's East Moeller Street, and it's a one-way street, little just residential street. I'm driving down that, and all of a sudden, like I hear like a sound, and like it sounded like I ran over something, and it sounded like, to me anyway, it sounded like glass rattling around. It's kind of like the sound that I heard. And then I seen like my tire light, and I said, fucking flat tire. Fortunately, there was plenty of room on the street. I was able to get stopped on the side of the street, and it seemed to be a pretty decent area that I was in. I didn't feel like unsafe or anything. And like I said, I should have looked if I was within a mile, I should have just, you know, walked that order the rest of the way. I wasn't even thinking. Um, I immediately get on phone support with DoorDash, and then also send a message to the customer that, hey, I got a flat tire. I'm not going to be able to complete this order. And DoorDash support, they took it off of me, and they said that I would still get paid half of whatever the I was gonna get paid. So they gave me like $1.50, and it got deposited separately outside of the dash. um, and then so they took it off of me. Um, and then like I asked about the food. I said, well, what happens with this food? And she said, well, you can do it, pitch it, throw it away, do whatever you want with it at this point. I said, okay, I said, I just didn't know if in these situations, if you had like another dasher meet that dasher and like finish the delivery. And she said, no, we don't do stuff like that. And then, so then I get out of the car to try to change the flat. Um, I guess I always forget this, but you're supposed to try to like loosen your lug nuts before you start jacking up the car. I always jack up the car first. So I jack up the car. I go to try to loosen those lug nuts, and I can't even come close to like budging them. And I'm so fucking old. I'm fucking tired, fat. I'm not in shape. I'm not gonna be able to fucking do this. So I had to call, I got on my Progressive app and requested roadside. And they said it was going to be anywhere from 90 to 120 minutes, whatever. So I sat there and I ate some of the customers' food. there was there was this it was like a beef onion soup was one of the items, which was good actually. I liked it. Melanie would have hated it because it was like a beef broth with tons of these big slivers of fucking onions. She doesn't like onions. That would have been the worst possible ever soup for her to eat. I really liked it. And then these baguettes, these pieces of bread were like loose just in the bag. And then there was like this macaroni and cheese that I just threw away, but because the customer requested no silverware. But Melanie was like, she said to me in a text, "Why would a customer not want silverware?" I said, "Well, it's probably like a recycling slash sustainability type of thing." Um, they use their own silverware and cut down on wasted plastic. Um, so uh, so anyway, I sat in my car. I ate that food. I at one point I tried to like a second attempt. I got out of the car, tried to fuck with those lug nuts. I wasn't gonna get them. So I sat back in my car. Just kind of sat there, messed around. Really. Um, if I would have been even more bored, I would have done YouTube videos or whatever. But I was all right. And it was a nice day out today, just super windy. Um, and the driver, I was expecting him to come like it. I put in the request like at 12:20, something like that. He was there before 2 o'clock. It was probably like 1:50, something like that. So he arrived at a reasonably decent time. And he came in a car, just a fucking car, which I was kind of surprised. Um, and Melanie said the guy that helped her, he was just in a car, not a tow truck. And this guy was really cool. Um, he saw my hat and he's like, "Oh, you're Accept fan?" I was like, "Yeah," and he started singing "Balls to the Wall." And we talked metal a little bit. He asked about Accept and what they were doing. Asked about Udo, and I kind of told him, told him about my involvement with Accept and talked a little bit Accept and Udo with him. He was telling me about some like local Columbus bands that he was into and stuff like that. He's pretty cool. Um, and then I told him, I said, "Yeah, I'm just too fucking old to. I can't fuck around with loosening lug nuts anymore. I'm too fucking old to do." He said, "Oh," he was like, "Well, I'm older than you though," and I was like, I said, "You can't be older than me by much." I was like, "How old are you?" He's like, "I'm 52," and I was like, "Well, I'm 50." I said, "I'm 50, but I feel like I'm fucking 850." He's like, "I know what you mean." And but anyway, he saw like the scissor lift that I used to jack up the car, and he's like, "I hate those fucking things." He had a like I don't know what they're called, but he had a lift that he lifted up my car in just a matter of like seconds. It's like 30 seconds he had the fucking car lifted up. And and I said, "Man, I said, you just lifted that thing up just like that." And he was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "How long did it take you with that thing?" I was like, "Fucking 15, 20 minutes." He was like, "Yeah. That's why I fucking hate those things." And then he had this tool that's almost like a cordless like drill or whatever to get the lug nuts off. And I asked him, and I said, "This lift, do they make like a smaller version of that?" And he said, "Yeah, they do." He said, "You can get a smaller one. You can get something like this for only about like $60. He said, "I bought this at Harbor Freight. You could go to like Amazon and get it." He said they even have ones now that fucking plug into the cigarette lighter, and it just automatic. It's not manual. It automatically raises the car up. It's like, fuck, man. And the drill thing or whatever you want to call that, 60, $80, same thing. And I told him, I said, "Yeah, I may want to invest in shit like this because, um, I said, because I got room in my trunk. I usually don't keep much stuff in my trunk. I could have something like this back there." And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, it's a really good investment." Um, So he had my tire off, and he had the. I mean, he did everything, fucking start to finish, in like fucking 10 minutes. And so I was all ready to go with the spare. So that worked out pretty good. Um, and also he didn't see the hole right away in the tire, but then I saw it and kind of pointed out to him. It's like this half-inch long gash in the sidewall, and he looked at it and he was like, "Yeah, I wonder what the fuck, how that fucking happened." He was like, I don't think I've seen a tear like that before, a cut like that in the sidewall. That's fucking weird." Um, and so anyway, so I started driving home. Of course, a donut like that. My owner's manual said maximum speed 50 mile an hour. And I was trying to get home without jumping on the interstate, which I did, but I forgot that. So I decided to take 104. I was real close to that. Well, at a certain point on 104, as you approach like the intersection of 104 and 71, that's like 55 or 60 miles speed limit there. So I had to drive in the right lane with my hazards on. It's probably pissing some people off, but they can live with it. I drove down 104 and I wasn't 100% sure where I'm going, but that turned into Frank Road. And I was like, okay, now I know like where I'm at. And because I know Frank, I just stay on Frank Road, and that's going to take me to fucking, Harrisburg Pike, and then take that home. Of course, also, uh, when I Harrisburg Pike becomes Broadway, I go through downtown Grove City. When I go past that and get out of town, that is 55 mile an hour. So there's another stretch of road for just like a mile or whatever. But I had to drive that with my hazards on and some ass on my tail. But I got home. Praise the Lord. All right. Hopefully that was a pretty entertaining story there from, like I said, almost a year ago. I counted, I had to do 13 edits on that clip that you see between a few spots where it was just way too vulgar language for public consumption. I mean, so I apologize for that, but I left a lot of it in there, but some of it was like, no, I can't post this. I mean, and like I said, I was pissed, just had a really, really rough day. So again, my apologies, but I wanted to leave as much of that in there as I could. Also, my coughing was really bad at that time, so that's why you see like a lot of those. I'd say there's probably like 3 or 4 cuts in there that I cut out, like really vulgar language and obscenities, and um, 2 or 3 like long pauses where I was trying to research something or something like that, and then the rest of it was my coughing. So that's the edits that were done. Um, I um, I cut out the final 4 minutes of that journal video. Basically, it just talked about me getting something to eat, coming back home, and then I was able to schedule an appointment for that same day to get my replacement tire for the car. So, um, but there was no need to. I could have summarized that like I did just now in just a few seconds. I didn't need that whole 4 minutes added on there. But anyway, so that's the story for my worst dash ever. And like I said, hopefully it doesn't get worse. And one other thing I thought was interesting as I watched that just now was the part where I said, I don't know how it could get worse unless somebody hits my car. Well, actually, that did end up later happening. That hit and run that I was involved in. Um, so I had that worst dash, and then I had the other dash where somebody hit me and ran. Fortunately, no harm done to me or my car. Um, and but and fortunately, I haven't had anything worse than that happen. Like where I talked about, like if God forbid if I ever got shot or mugged or anything like that. Nothing's happened like that yet. So, it's just, but anything can happen. And you just got to be safe and everything, be aware of your surroundings, that type of thing. Always be aware, especially defensive driving. And I've always been a defensive driver even before DoorDash. So that if you're a really stay on top of that, with being aware of your surroundings and practicing defensive driving. My attitude has always been when I'm out on the road, everybody else at all times, everybody else has the right of way. So you'll never catch me in a car. If I ever one of these days ever do like ride along videos again, you will never hear me driving down the road and the words come out of my mouth, "Oh, I had the right of way at this intersection." No, I that's not how I drive. I even if my light is green and their light is red and they run through that intersection, hey, they had the right of way. That's just how I drive. It doesn't matter what the situation. I'm the one that has I'm like, how do I want to say it, last priority or whatever. Everybody else, you all go first. You all have the right of way. I don't have the right of way. And I've never, and that's how I've always driven. I've never caused an accident. And I've been in very few accidents. So it's a good philosophy to have, in my opinion, anyway. But anyway, that's it for this video. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my other videos. And thanks for watching. Until next time.